Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Wordle with Art. We're giving our wheel a spin. We're going to see what two-word entry we're going to put in for today's Wordle in our math and science theme. It's going to be graph curve, clearly math related. So I like that. And why don't we go straight to Wordle and see exactly how that plays out. Just double check graph curve. Yeah. Okay, so graph curve it is. Graph gets me Zippo. How about the curve? Gets me a C and an E. Okay, I can work with that. That is not terrible. I was going to say from the outset that it's a pretty decent two-word start, just with the exception of duplicating the R's, but they're in different positions. It didn't matter, though. It didn't do us any help. All right. So what do you think, guys? We've got a C and an E. I think a very nice thing to do with that would be to, I would like to do the word edict. I think that's a very nice word to play off of. And there you go. Okay, you know, a little bit of progress. We moved the E in front, so that's great. We know it's an E word. Now, first word that comes to mind would be excel. That would be a sneaky one. It definitely would fit. Yeah, let's go with excel. Bada bing, bada bam. Nice and fast, right, guys? I like that. I like it a lot. Okay, so we did pretty good on that one. You know, 4 is not great. Therefore, there will be no hell due to our Wordle performance. However, we will see what we can do with Squirtle. And if I can make the prediction, that will definitely get a very solid howl. So let's go ahead and see how Squirtle is going to perform for us today. Our solution was Excel, but we started with, well, let's put the solution in first, of course. Excel. We did graph and then curve, and our intermediate guess was edict, which I actually think was very helpful because, you know, E words are not incredibly common. All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Let me think about this. S-L-A-T-E. It's still sticking with slate despite having already used that and having been evaporated from its lexicon, right, guys? So S-L-A-T-E. So it's got an L and an E out of position. I think it does. I actually think, guys, it does level. I think it does level. Let me think about that. Level. Yeah, it's going to do level. Oh, here we go, guys. Could you imagine if I were to get 3 in a row? That would be insane. So it should go slate, level. Now, I just have to think carefully here. I mean, it's tempting just to say that it's going to be a 3-stepper. It'll have the E and the L locked in, but it might want to do something like rebel next, right? It might want to do rebel next. So slate, level, rebel. Although, let me think about that. This is tricky. If we go slate, level, then the E would be out of position. So it wouldn't do rebel. I'm going to go with 3. Let's go slate, level, excel. Hold on here, guys. Oh, no. It went with wheel next. You guys, I told you. I'm really good at getting that second word, but the third word is very tricky. You know, I wouldn't have thought of wheel before excel. But again, it decided to use wheel first because it knew that it could split the database a little bit more effectively than with any other word. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't guess rebel at least. That wouldn't have made sense because the E would have still been out of position. So it went with wheel. All right. Well, you know, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but there will be no howling today. There will be no howling. However, I'll try to make a cute little outro with my another edition of Wordle with Art. But we're not quite there yet. So let's just take a quick peek at our performance. Graph brought it down by a factor of 5. Which is really bad. Curve did help tremendously. It brought it down, you know, to 63. So that's a healthy reduction of about a factor of 60. Oh, and then edict was a perfect guess, wasn't it? It was absolutely perfect, even though it wanted me to go with the horrible feces first, which is absolutely disgusting. I took a slightly less fecal route and went with edict, and that got me straight to Excel. So I'm very happy with that. Again, four guessers are not terribly special, but I do feel just a tiny bit handicapped when I do the 2-word evaluation, because obviously, once you start with graph, it's kind of silly to put a word with an R in. But curve was great, and the C and the E were very helpful. And getting the edict guess and getting E locked in was great. So I do feel like this is going to be a tough word for people today. Not for my viewers, though, as I keep reminding you guys, and you know it perfectly well. You are the absolute smartest and brightest among all the YouTube Wordle viewers out there. And I'm very confident that I'm going to see a lot of 3s and 4s. 3s and 4s. I think a 2 would be very difficult, except for a certain viewer who has a predilection for getting these in like 1s and 2s. So you never know. Look out for him. He might blow us out of the water once again. But I think we're going to see some 3s and 4s and an occasional 5 if a few people just sort of had trouble locating that X. But that's a good one. And yeah, so yeah, guys, I do indeed hope that you enjoyed today's edition of Wordle with Art. And as promised, yes, I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow with yet
another edition of Wordle with Art.